And it's like her standing there singing a cover, and it's just a piano vocal. And I remember thinking, like, if people like that, I can do that. Like, that's clearly what the people want. I've been, like, trying to push my own music for so long, and I do get, like, love on my own stuff, but it was, like, it wasn't to that level. And so I just decided coming home from an award show, I was like, "You know what?" And I was, like, nominated for 6 awards or something and didn't get a single one, and I was like, "Okay, clearly the artist thing or the, original song thing is not for me in this season, so I'm gonna teach myself to produce music by doing these covers." And so I started doing covers, and she was the inspiration. It was like a feeling of comparison that actually, like, propelled me to start this journey of doing covers. But it was like, be careful what you wish for. So I got all the things that I had wanted, and I was like, "Oh man, this is amazing. I have, like, all these new followers and like all the things popping off for me." But it was like I all of a sudden became this, like, horrible person to be around because my brain was fried because I was, like, always watching her stuff, always watching my stuff, wanting to see where I was at and, reference to, like, where she was at, and it wasn't even really, I didn't do it on purpose. It was just like, "Okay, she's doing this and, like, that's what the people like. So I guess I have to kind of follow it up with my own version of something like that because the people like it." It became this weird thing where it was just like striving and striving and striving. And I became a really, really mean mom for a season of life. Like, I was just super snappy and mean. And my husband was like, "Who are you?" And, like, I didn't want to serve at my church. I didn't want to, like, do any of the things that had brought me so much joy before. And I realized that, like, what actually propelled me into this season of, like, what somebody would call success was actually rooted in, like, a really unhealthy trait of, like, me wanting to compare myself and, come out higher than this person on the other side. And I don't think we know that we do that when we do it. I think it's totally something that happens kind of subconsciously. And I think that's what social media is. So when you can find someone like Geo to come in and just be like, "Hey, here's my rate. Here's my rate. I'll take care of that stuff." And you can, like, separate yourself. It really makes the things in life that matter, like, come to the forefront. And that has been, like, this season of me not doing covers and stepping away. It's been like, man, okay, why do I love music? Why do I love serving the Lord through music? Why do I do these things? It's like, oh, my family and, like, my church body and all the things that I had, like, shut out for so long. Those are the reasons. And so kind of easing my way back into this was, like, one of the things I put at the very top of my list was like, okay, I will do what the machine tells me to do. I will post, but I'm going to find some things, I guess, to put in place so that I don't revert back to that, like, horrible, mean, evil stepmother vibes that I was in this season. It's laughable now, but it was, like, the worst ever. And I don't know, I just think we become that without knowing. But I guess I'm just saying, like, you can have all the likes and followers and you can go viral as many times as you possibly can and have all the things in the world that you think your heart desires. But at the end of the day, if your why isn't something that's, rooted outside of metrics, then it's going to be pretty hard for you to separate yourself from the machine. And at some point, you're just going to get, like, sucked into the vortex. No capes. If you know, you know. But yeah, so I guess, like, to circle back and to say all that, like, it's really cool, Aaron. I'm just thinking back to what you were saying, and, like, Ben, you were talking about, like, you're kind of at the cusp of starting out and you guys are thinking of a rebrand. But, like, I think at the end of the day, like, you can rebrand as many times as you want to appease what you think is going to do really well. But I guess, like, if it does go really well and things do pop off for you, like, what's the foundation for why you're doing this? And if you can't really, point to anything other than, like, well, we just wanted to be a worship collective that, did really good songs. Like, it's just like, okay, but it has to be deeper than that. Because if it's not, you're gonna get sucked in, and one of these days you're gonna wake up and your kids are gonna, like, you're gonna not even want to be around your kids. You're not gonna want to serve your church. It's just gonna become this whole thing because it is. It's, like, literally programmed. Like, the reason the algorithm is the way it is because, like, it wants to sell stuff and it wants, like, big corp to, sell their merchandise, and it wants us to, like, fall into the doom scrolling so that our emotions get triggered, and, oh, there's, like, rage bait. It's all the things. Like, it's the playground for mental health crisis. And so if you're not careful, you will also be a, a victim of that crazy scheme. This is me going deep state all of a sudden. I'm just like, no, we're not going there tonight.
Believe it or not, we started as two broke artists working multiple jobs, touring the country with our band, trying to get signed. All the labels, they said no. COVID shut everything down. Nothing was working. Our bandmates quit. It seemed like it was all over. So we learned music marketing. We built our own momentum. Today, we've crossed over 500 million streams on all of our music. And we built the Anthem Network to give indie artists, producers, and music industry players the roadmap we wish we had 10 years ago. So if you're done doing this alone, join the Anthem Network. Get your 7-day free trial by clicking the link in the description below. We'll see you there.
Did anybody get the thing that we're stuck on right now is our pastor just brought this up the other day, and it's been really resonating. Is it kind of piggybacks off what you were saying. The word worship actually biblically means sacrifice. So like, what are you sacrificing at this time? And right now, this is like, that's kind of the heart of it for us, is like, this is my kind of sacrifice kind of thing, all the time, all the effort, all the everything to put in to try to bring people together to collectively sing praise to God at the same time. That's kind of the heart behind it. So yeah, you got to have your why. You got to have your why.
My like counter to that, just to be like the devil's advocate, which isn't, I'm not like saying it to you from me. I'm saying like my perspective, maybe from what I've learned over the last few years, is like, it's a lot of sacrifice to be a parent, and it's a big sacrifice to be a good spouse. And so if we can't do those things well first, then like our sacrifice in our worship collective or my covers album, it means nothing. If like the first ministry that the Lord called us to, which was, to be fruitful, multiply, if you will, or to, serve your spouse and your family and your home and your church and the body, like if that thing becomes like more sacrificial or more worshipful than those things, then that's where the why gets skewed. And so when metrics don't line up, or when you don't, meet the criteria or meet expectations you were hoping to have met by this point, then it's like, oh man, I God didn't love my sacrifice. A little trinket on your shelf means literally nothing to God if you've forsaken the things that mattered the most to him. And so I don't know, this is just soapboxing, but I guess like my point is that if that sacrifice you're talking about, if that worship, you're being more methodical and really, what's the word I'm thinking of? Like methodical, I guess. If you're trying to, make sense of it in a really intense way, more than you are trying to serve your family or your church or whatever it looks like for you, then I feel like it has to be like, you have to reconsider. That's all.
Actually, the reason why we started Aaron and Katie Shore's Music Whatsoever was because we wanted good worship music for our family. Mm-hmm. And then it just kind of branded out a little bit from there. And I'm the guy that like, I go and I go and I go, right? And then we got a church, and then we started doing that. And that's where kind of the JCO stuff comes from, is because like we started writing music for our church. So like, I do care in the fact, because I want to be good at everything, that like, it's just my nature of I want to bring other people in and everything. But the whole purpose is for our church and that intimate worship there. And then we're just going to kind of go out with this other stuff.
Sorry. It's like, I said that as like, for those who are watching and maybe those who will watch after, I guess my point is just like, yes, but also, consider the reason that you actually do this and not the metrics, because the metrics will come and go and change. And one day there's really great engagement. The next day there's not great engagement, but that doesn't necessarily mean that like God doesn't honor your sacrifice or your whatever, or the dove award that you receive doesn't mean that like you're doing a great job for the kingdom. It could just mean that like the right people saw your stuff at the right time and the industry's rigged anyways. But anyways.
Before you head out, if that session gave you just one good idea, imagine what'll happen when you're actually in the room with us every week. That's what the Anthem Network is all about. Artists connecting, getting real-time feedback, and taking action together. You can join right now with a 7-day free trial and be part of the next live call for free. Don't just watch other artists grow with them. Click the link in the description and we'll see you on the next call.